Tommy Lee Jones is speaking out following one of the most devastating moments of his life, the reported death of his daughter, Victoria Jones, a tragedy that has stunned Hollywood and left fans around the world grappling with disbelief. What began as a quiet, almost whispered report quickly escalated into a major headline as details slowly emerged about Victoria being found unresponsive in a hotel room in Northern California during the early hours of the morning. Emergency responders were called to the scene, life-saving efforts were attempted, but she was later pronounced dead. In an instant, a deeply personal family loss became a global story, unfolding in real time under the intense gaze of the public. For decades, Tommy Lee Jones has been known as one of the most formidable and unshakable figures in Hollywood. His on-screen presence is synonymous with authority, discipline, and emotional control. Whether portraying hardened lawmen, morally conflicted figures, or powerful leaders, Jones built a career on characters who rarely cracked under pressure. But this moment is different. This is not a role, not a performance, and not a challenge that can be overcome with grit or experience. This is a father confronting the unthinkable loss of a child, a pain that transcends fame, success, and reputation. In a brief but deeply emotional statement released through a representative, Jones acknowledged the overwhelming outpouring of support from fans and colleagues around the world. He thanked people for their thoughts, prayers, and condolences, while also asking for privacy as his family attempts to process a loss that words can barely describe. The statement was short, but every line carried immense weight. It reflected gratitude, exhaustion, heartbreak, and a quiet plea for space during a moment when grief is still raw and consuming. Victoria Jones lived much of her life outside the spotlight, despite being born into a family known across the globe. As a child and teenager, she had brief connections to the film industry, appearing in small roles associated with her father's work. At the time, some assumed she might eventually follow in his footsteps, stepping into a life of acting and public recognition. But as she grew older, Victoria chose a different path. She stepped away from Hollywood expectations and pursued a quieter, more private existence, one far removed from red carpets and flashing cameras. Those who knew Victoria personally have described her as thoughtful, artistic, and deeply introspective. She was someone who felt things intensely, someone who questioned the world around her and her place within it. Friends have said she possessed a sharp mind and a creative spirit, but also carried emotional weight that she struggled to put down. For Victoria, life was not always easy, and peace often felt just out of reach. In recent years, her life became increasingly complicated. Reports indicate that Victoria had been dealing with personal challenges, including struggles related to substance use and mental health. These issues, while deeply personal, became part of the public narrative following her death. Many voices have been quick to emphasize that these struggles do not define who she was, but instead highlight a reality that is often uncomfortable to confront. Addiction and mental health challenges can affect anyone. Wealth, family legacy, and access to resources do not make a person immune to pain. The circumstances surrounding Victoria's death remain under investigation, and authorities have stated that there is no indication of foul play. However, the lack of definitive answers has fueled speculation across social media and entertainment news platforms. Rumors, assumptions, and theories began circulating almost immediately, prompting widespread calls for restraint. Fans, advocates, and even fellow celebrities have urged the public to remember that this is a real family experiencing real grief, not a story meant for entertainment or debate. Public reaction has been intense and emotional. Fans of Tommy Lee Jones expressed shock and sorrow, many struggling to reconcile the image of a strong, unyielding Hollywood icon with the reality of a grieving father. Industry colleagues shared messages of sympathy, describing Jones as a man of integrity, discipline, and deep loyalty to his family. Others shared their own stories of loss, addiction, and recovery, transforming the tragedy into a moment of shared vulnerability and reflection. Mental health professionals and addiction advocates have also weighed in, emphasizing the importance of compassion and understanding. They remind the public that recovery is rarely a straight line, and that setbacks, relapses, and crises are often part of the journey. Victoria's story, they say, should not be reduced to a cautionary tale or a scandalous headline, but understood as a human story, one that underscores the urgent need for empathy, support systems, and open conversations about mental health. For Tommy Lee Jones, this moment represents a profound shift in his public narrative. Known for guarding his personal life with fierce determination, he has rarely spoken about his children in interviews, preferring to keep family matters private. Those close to him describe him as a devoted father who took pride in being present and protective. Behind the tough exterior audiences see on screen is a man who, like any parent, wanted nothing more than safety, happiness, and stability for his child. As fans revisit his extensive body of work, many are noticing themes that now feel painfully resonant. Loss, regret, responsibility, and moral struggle appear throughout his career, and performances that once seemed purely dramatic now carry a deeper emotional weight. It's a reminder that art often mirrors life in ways we only recognize after tragedy strikes. The situation has also reignited broader conversations about the pressures faced by children of famous parents. Growing up adjacent to fame can bring unique and often invisible challenges, including unrealistic expectations, public scrutiny, and constant comparison. Even when they choose private lives, the shadow of a famous name can shape experiences in ways outsiders may never fully understand. As the days pass, the focus remains on healing and remembrance. The family has not announced any public memorial plans, and sources suggest that any services will be private, honoring Victoria in a way that reflects who she truly was, rather than the narrative surrounding her death. Supporters continue to express hope that the family finds comfort in one another and strength in the love that surrounds them. This story is still unfolding, and while many questions remain unanswered, one thing is undeniable: the deep sense of loss felt not only by the Jones family, but by countless people who see their own struggles reflected in this tragedy. It serves as a sobering reminder of life's fragility, of the quiet battles people fight behind closed doors, and of the importance of compassion over judgment. As the world watches from afar, the most important thing now is respect. For a daughter lost too soon, for a family navigating unimaginable grief, and for the complexity of human lives that can never be fully captured in headlines. Grief does not follow a schedule, and healing is neither quick nor simple. For Tommy Lee Jones and his loved ones, this is a chapter written in sorrow, but also one surrounded by empathy, remembrance, and love. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.